Problem with your fitness journey isn't your approach. It's your lack of patience and, more importantly, your inability to stick to the program. And by the end of this video, how many times have you started a new method of training or diet approach, and after a few weeks of sticking with it, you end up searching for something else to try because you didn't lose that 5 pounds you were promised by the end of the first month? How many times have you found yourself saying, "This is the best diet out there. I'm sure gonna lose these love handles. It's science." Now, I've been guilty for both many times. I've tried keto, I've tried low-fat diets, intermittent fasting. I've attempted many weight training programs like 5-3-1, starting strength, Smolov, squat every day, and more. However, I realized the times I made the best progress was when I stuck to the program the longest. The approach didn't matter. It was my adherence to the program. Take a look at a few of my clients. They were avid gym goers who generally were spinning their wheels with their workouts before working with me. Boom, and I think boom. They hopped between many different programs, switched from training styles, full body, split body, upper, lower, everything under the sun. Yet this time while working with me, they saw results and a body they haven't seen for years, even a decade in some cases. There's a major similarity that I want to outline between why these clients achieve these results. Simply put, they adhered to the individualized plan they were given without question or without regret. Well, there were times where their trust in the process was tested, as it should be. It's hard to stick to something if you aren't always seeing results. But something you noticed between each graph is that there was never a sharp decline down. It kind of goes something like this. There's all these different moments. Every single one of my clients have gone through these moments where they thought to themselves, is this even working? Am I making progress? Another week and no weight loss. I'm still in the same clothes. Or I feel fat, weak, and lazy. I should be further along. The real challenge of any program isn't in the doing, it's usually in the sticking it out during those moments of, is it even working? Those moments when you aren't seeing any visible results, usually on the scale. So the question is, how do you adhere to a program during these times? How do you stick with something when it gets hard? How do you commit? Well, that might be a bit out of my scope of practice. However, I guarantee there are some overlaps in all aspects of life. Let's dive a bit in philosophy. At any point in your life, if you find yourself lost in a moment, usually stepping back out of the current situation and looking at the bigger picture usually helps us to put things into perspective. Or maybe stepping further in and looking at the finer things you might be missing. Sometimes you need to do both. At one point, client A felt like he couldn't get under 228 pounds despite the fact that he was already down 10 pounds. He acknowledged that he was getting stronger, but that fact alone wasn't enough. In fact, he began self-sabotaging himself on the weekends with the idea that, oh well, I'm not seeing any results despite my efforts, might as well have fun. Terrible mentality. After the second week of noticing this habit, or rather choice, I decided to have a quick call with him, explaining to him that the very reason that he is getting stronger is because his body is creating new muscle fibers. Now, at the time, he didn't want to lose weight via calorie restriction, rather wanted to focus on building muscle that will burn the fat, which was happening, just on a very microscopic scale. He understood this and stayed the course to later drop 8 pounds in 2 months with some adjusting to meet his expectation, taking him to 220 pounds. Now, client B seemed to have had it a bit easier in the beginning with more of a steady decline. However, in the past month, she has been having a hard time understanding why she's taking so long to lose more weight. It's been really hard on her. Similar to client A, I had to derail her focus from the scale to other measurements of progress. As a nurse, she wears a uniform, scrubs every day, so despite the scale moving up or down 0.2 to 0.3 pounds at a time, her clothes were becoming baggier. She noted her butt was getting more shaped and her fiance was noticing as well. Even other people saw it. After reminding her that all these reasons to celebrate, I had to reveal my secret weapon, which was waist measurement. In the past month, she dropped down 1 inch, which is a total of 3 inches since she started. And I explained to her that even though the past month hasn't been generous with weight loss, The fact that she lost an inch on her waist means that she not only lost fat, but she also gained muscle because the scale stayed the same as she continued to get stronger in the gym. So with client B, we had to zoom out and in for her to be satisfied with her efforts. Now you might be thinking, why even bother with monitoring numbers on the scale if it will just lead to misguided information? And part of you would be right for that. Well, if it wasn't for monitoring their body weights, we wouldn't be able to conclude the other forms of progress accurately or if it was happening. Having consistent data on their body weight gives us the full story of what's happening. So if client A was gaining weight while getting stronger, then the strength could have come from just being heavier. We wouldn't know that there's muscle gain. If we didn't know that client B's weight was flatlining, we wouldn't know that she was also gaining muscle. At any given moment, both of these clients could have just given up due to their lack of progress. This is usually the main reason why most people don't stick to a routine. But as mentioned, it's important to look at all measurements of progress. So here are 5 things you can do or measure to increase your patience by being aware of the smaller changes that are happening. Number 1, check the scale. You want to check the scale at least 4 times per week, 3 times during the week, and then once on the weekend. Waist measurement. Measure your waist on a weekly basis, and for other body parts, best to measure bi-weekly or monthly. Strength gains. Always track your performance in the gym. You should be getting stronger every single week. And then clothing fit. Be aware of the clothing that you're wearing. This is more about being honest with yourself. Ask yourself, are the clothes getting more loose or not? And then lastly, progress photos. Pick an outfit to wear and take pictures once a month on the same day and time. So before thinking of changing your program, take a step back and ask yourself, are any of these measurements changing? Or am I just being too hard on myself? Now, I get it. It seems like a lot of micromanaging, almost like it might be a waste of time. But you know what else is a waste of time? Not sticking to a program and changing after every 2 months. Trust me, been there, I've done that. Monitoring these measurements of progress will increase the chances of you not having shiny thing syndrome, or in this case, shiny fat syndrome. And I'll leave you with one last note. If none of these are changing on a bi-weekly basis at a minimum, then it is time to change your approach. You are definitely doing something wrong, but we can fix that. Let's chat. There you have it. If you found today's video helpful, or if you have any questions, drop a comment below. If you want to see more content like this more frequently, add me on Facebook or follow me on Instagram. The handle will be found in the caption section. Lastly, if you find yourself overwhelmed with information that's online and you need help organizing your fitness approach, slide in my DMs and let's have a quick chat to see if I can help. Until next time, stay resilient.